I wanted children so much in my life that my whole concentration is on them. A woman who is attractive, what is it for you, an attractive woman for you?
At 90 years old, Sophia Loren is still a name that brings warmth and admiration. But recently, her fans were left in deep shock. Just 2 weeks after appearing bright and strong at the Venice Film Festival, news broke that Sophia had suffered a terrible fall in her bathroom. It wasn't just a small accident. The fall led to multiple broken bones and required emergency surgery. Her team gave a calm statement, saying recovery would take time, but those who truly knew her could see that something was wrong. In the video taken at the festival, she held onto her walking stick with a grip that told its own story. Sophia had always been proud of her strength and beauty. She once said that age was just a number. But now, at 90, the strong woman the world had loved seemed to be slipping away. Rumors about her death even spread online, causing sadness and confusion. Sophia stayed out of the public eye for weeks, and fans grew more worried. Her silence felt louder than any words. People began to ask, is this her final goodbye? Is the golden star of Italian cinema quietly saying farewell without a final curtain call? Sophia Loren's story began in a very hard place. She was born on September 20th, 1934, in a special hospital in Rome, one meant only for unwed mothers. In Catholic Italy during the 1930s, this was a serious matter. Her mother, Romilda Villani, was beautiful and talented, often compared to Greta Garbo. But she had a child outside of marriage, and in those days, that brought shame. Sophia's father, Riccardo Ciccolone, was already married when he met Romilda. When she got pregnant, he refused to marry her and left them to suffer. Sophia saw her father only 3 times in her life, once when she was 5, again at 17, and finally when he was dying. Even when she became famous, he never showed interest in her. Still, Sophia did something unusual. She claimed that her father came from noble blood. She called herself the Marquise of Licata and the Viscountess of Pozzuoli. Whether it was true or not, it gave her strength. She took the pain of rejection and turned it into pride. She wanted the world to know she was not just the daughter of a man who walked away, she was someone special. That's how Sophia began shaping her identity, not through pity, but through power. Sophia's early years were filled with struggle. After her sister Maria was born in 1938, things became even harder. Their father refused to sign Maria's birth certificate, leaving her without a legal last name. Sophia later paid him money just so Maria could be officially recognized. By the time World War II began, their family was living in deep poverty. They returned to their hometown of Pozzuoli and lived with Sophia's grandmother, who ran an illegal bar from her living room. This bar sold homemade cherry liquor to American soldiers. Sophia, her sister, and her mother all worked there just to survive. Sophia served drinks and washed dishes while bombs dropped around them. One day, when she was just 10, a bomb exploded nearby and shrapnel hit her chin, leaving a scar she carried for life. She was scared of the dark ever since. Her nights were spent hiding in train tunnels, cold and filled with rats, waiting for the bombs to stop. Even after the war ended, the damage remained. They moved to Naples and lived with distant relatives in overcrowded homes. Sophia watched her mother cry while begging for food. These memories shaped her forever. They gave her the toughness that would help her survive the rough world of fame and film. When Sophia was just 14, she entered a beauty contest. She didn't win first place, but she was crowned Miss Elegance, and that changed everything. That title came with prize money, enough for her and her mother to return to Rome. There, her life started to change. In 1951, when she was only 16, a powerful film producer named Carlo Ponti noticed her sitting at a restaurant table. He was 37, married, and already well known in the film world. He offered her a contract and began guiding her career. He even changed her name. Sophia Villani Ciccolone became Sophia Loren, a name the world would never forget. Ponti helped shape her image, telling her how to dress, what to read, and which films to choose. Soon, Sophia was starring in Hollywood movies with actors like Cary Grant and Frank Sinatra. America fell in love with her. She wasn't the typical blonde bombshell like Marilyn Monroe. She was dark-haired, bold, and proud of her roots. In Boy on a Dolphin, her beauty was unmatched. Even when co-stars had to stand on boxes to look taller, it didn't matter. The camera loved her, and so did the audience. By the late 1950s, she had become the highest-paid actress in Europe. She had made it, but the journey had just begun. Sophia's relationship with Carlo Ponti wasn't just professional. Over time, it became deeply personal. He was not only her manager and mentor but also the man she loved. However, because he was already married and divorce was not allowed in Italy, their relationship created major legal problems. In 1957, Ponti arranged a quick divorce in Mexico and then married Sophia by proxy, meaning they weren't even there in person. But the Italian government refused to accept the marriage. In 1962, they were charged with bigamy and faced possible jail time. They had to leave Italy and live abroad for years. Eventually, they became French citizens in 1966, and their marriage was finally accepted. But it had been a long, painful road. At the same time, Sophia's film career reached new heights. In 1960, she starred in Two Women, a powerful film about a mother trying to protect her daughter during war. The role was personal. It reminded her of her own childhood, bombs, fear, and a mother's love. That performance won her an Academy Award. She was the first actress to win an Oscar for a non-English speaking role. At just 27, she had achieved what many could only dream of. But her greatest dream, becoming a mother, was still out of reach. Behind all the fame and fortune, Sophia Loren carried a heavy heart. While filming the movie Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, she became pregnant, and for the first time, she felt hope for the family life she had always wanted. But tragedy struck when she suffered a miscarriage after a long car scene. The hospital visit was cold and cruel, and the pain of losing that child stayed with her. A few years later, it happened again during the filming of More Than a Miracle. This time, the doctor told her coldly, "You will never have a child." Sophia sank into deep sadness. Her husband, Carlo Ponti, also became withdrawn and depressed. Even though they were rich and famous, they felt empty. Sophia would often hold child actors on film sets, staying in touch with them long after filming was done. She longed for a child more than anything else. She said in interviews that her biggest wish wasn't winning awards, it was hearing a child call her mama. Finally, with the help of modern treatments, she gave birth to 2 sons. They became her world. Her son Eduardo even directed her in The Life Ahead, which won her a top award in 2020. Even in her late 80s, she proved that love, art, and motherhood still lived in her heart. Throughout her career, Sophia Loren worked with some of the greatest names in cinema. One of her most beloved co-stars was Marcello Mastroianni. Together, they acted in over 10 films, creating on-screen magic. Their chemistry was so strong that Sophia once said she didn't even need to read the script. If Marcello was in it, she was in too. Their roles together weren't always romantic. In A Special Day, they played 2 lonely people connecting during a time of fear and political tension. It was one of their most heartfelt performances. Sophia also worked closely with director Vittorio De Sica, who gave her roles that showed her emotional depth. With him, she starred in classics like Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow and Marriage Italian Style. Each film allowed her to show the world that she wasn't just a pretty face, she was a true artist. Her award shelf proves it. From multiple David D. Donatello Awards in Italy to an honorary Oscar in 1991, she earned the respect of the entire film world. In the US, stars like Cary Grant adored her. In fact, he even proposed marriage to her, but she turned him down for Carlo Ponti. Her life was filled with choices, some romantic, some difficult, but always bold. Now, as Sophia Loren turns 90, fans are feeling the weight of her absence. After her recent fall and surgery, her appearances have become rare. She is no longer seen walking red carpets or attending public events. Her last major film, The Life Ahead, reminded the world why she is a legend. In it, she played a Holocaust survivor, bringing tears to millions. the film was directed by her son, making it even more special. Sophia once said, "I cannot live without cinema," and for decades, she lived that truth. But time has caught up. The woman who once walked with grace now moves with care. Her strong, proud voice has softened. Fans understand that this might be her silent goodbye. Still, her story will never fade. From a child hiding in war tunnels to a Hollywood queen, Sophia Loren's journey is one of strength, survival, and grace. Her films will continue to inspire generations. And even if she no longer walks onto the screen, she will forever live in the hearts of those who loved her. At 90, she may be saying goodbye, but the world is not ready to let go. Sophia Loren is not just an actress, she's a symbol. A symbol of Italian elegance, emotional power, and timeless strength. Her impact goes beyond film awards and red carpet moments. She helped shape the image of Italian women around the world, bold, graceful, and never afraid to speak their minds. In the 1950s and 60s, when the film industry was filled with fragile female roles, Loren brought something different. She played mothers, lovers, workers, and survivors. Her characters had fire in their hearts and stories in their eyes. Women from all backgrounds saw parts of themselves in Sophia. She showed that beauty could live alongside hardship and that dignity wasn't about being born into wealth, it was about how you carried yourself through pain. Her influence can still be seen today in actresses like Penelope Cruz, Monica Bellucci, and Marion Cotillard, who all credit Loren as a major inspiration. Even fashion icons have praised her timeless looks, her curves, her eyebrows, her poise. Designers like Dolce & Gabbana have celebrated her in their campaigns, calling her the essence of Italian femininity. But more than any award or fashion tribute, it is the way she survived poverty, heartbreak, war, and loss that makes her unforgettable. She showed the world that it is possible to walk through fire and come out shining. And now, as she quietly steps out of the spotlight, the legacy she leaves behind continues to light the way for others. Loren later confessed what many had guessed. She saw Ponti not just as a husband, but as a father figure. Her own father had abandoned her. He would come and go without caring for her or her sister. She never really had a dad. So, when she met Ponti, she found safety. "I needed protection," she said. "He made me feel serene." That's why she couldn't choose Cary Grant. She wasn't chasing romance. She needed stability. And Ponti gave her that, even if it came at a cost. Their love lasted 42 years, though it began in controversy. They first married by proxy in Mexico in 1957. But Italy didn't recognize divorce and Ponti was still legally married. The courts declared their marriage invalid. The Catholic Church threatened them with excommunication. So they fled Italy. They gave up their citizenship and became French citizens. In 1966 they married again, this time legally. They had 2 sons, Carlo Jr. in 1968 and Eduardo in 1973. Their marriage survived threats, lawsuits, and scandals. And when Ponti died, Loren said, "You never get over this kind of feeling." 2 years later, when asked if she'd ever marry again, her answer was final. No, never again. In 2020, after a 10-year break from acting, Sophia Loren returned to the screen at age 86. The film was The Life Ahead, directed by her son, Eduardo Ponti. It became a Netflix sensation, hitting the top 10 in 37 countries. Loren played Madame Rosa, a Holocaust survivor and former prostitute who cared for immigrant children in southern Italy. Critics loved it. The film earned a 92% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Loren won several awards, including the David D. Donatello and AARP's Best Actress Award. Even the film's original song got an Oscar nomination. For Loren, it was a powerful comeback. She showed that age didn't matter. Her talent had never faded. 2 years later, in 2024, she stunned everyone again. At 90 years old, she said, "I hope never to retire." She told reporters she wasn't thinking about legacy. She was thinking about her next movie. Her words shook Hollywood. She had been acting for 75 years. But she was still hungry, still dreaming. While others slowed down, Loren refused to stop. She said she felt lucky to still do what she loved. For her, age was just a number. And behind that spirit was a rule she lived by. No plan B. In that same 2024. In Italy, Sophia Loren is more than a movie star, she is part of the national identity. Her life story is taught in schools, her movies are played on national holidays, and her name is said with pride. Recently, after her fall and surgery, Italian news stations gave regular updates about her condition. Fans lit candles outside her childhood home in Pozzuoli. On social media, people from around the world, young and old, shared their favorite scenes, favorite quotes, and stories of how her films touched their hearts. Even celebrities like Meryl Streep and Julia Roberts have expressed deep admiration for Loren, calling her the ultimate actress and a hero in every sense. Her son Eduardo, now an acclaimed director, has asked for privacy, but also thanked fans for their love. "She reads your letters," he said in an interview. "She sees the tributes. And they mean more than you'll ever know." Though Loren has not made a public statement about retirement, many believe the life ahead was her final film. And what a farewell it was, a role filled with grace, compassion, and quiet strength. As the world watches and waits, there is sadness, yes, but also deep gratitude. Few stars shine this long, and even fewer burn so brightly. Whether she ever steps in front of a camera again or not, her light will never dim. Sophia Loren may be saying goodbye, but her spirit, her films, and her story will live forever.